Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today, guys, I wanted to do another themed topic video. So a few weeks ago, I did a video on movies in my collection that I hate, and I keep them anyways. For whatever reason, I discussed the reasons why I keep the movies in my collection, but that video sparked a lot of debate in the comment section. It actually did very well on the channel as well. So I always find that stuff very interesting, just the collector mentality, the thought processes, the different ways that we all collect. I don't like to judge anybody, and to be honest, I don't like people judging me and the way I collect because we all collect differently, but I'm always getting comments and stuff. And I get it. I'm the person on here making the videos, so judge away. That's your right. It's my right to put the videos out. It's your right to judge the way I collect, I guess. Even though I'd rather you not. Let's all just be nice to each other in the comments section. But I know it's not going to happen. It's YouTube. It's okay. But today, guys, because of that video, somebody left a comment on that video, and they wanted me to do another video of that type, but to do something a little bit different. So they asked me to pull movies in my collection that I love that I think have poor packaging, which I thought that was a really good idea at the time. And then I realized just how hard that actually was, because the movies that I love, a lot of them, I have really great editions of. I have really great steelbooks, slipcovers, all that stuff, box sets. I have great box sets of movies that I love. So it was actually kind of difficult for me to go back. There was a few movies that I'm lukewarm on or that I like a lot in the collection that I think have crap packaging, but that wasn't a part of the stipulation. It has to be a movie that I love. And I'm going to be honest, there's a few movies in here. Most of these I love, but there's a couple that I just really like a lot. But also there's some packaging in here that I don't hate as much as the others. I could take it or leave it, but it is stuff that I'm not necessarily super jazzed about either when I look at it. It's not stuff that I pull off the shelf and show off for people this is a really cool edition. So not all of these I hate, not all of these movies I love, but it's pretty close to one side or the other. So I managed to pull, I think 25 editions, 20 to 25 editions off the shelf. And this could be, I've got digipacks, I've got box sets, it could be steel books, it could be slip covers. I don't think I pulled anything without a slip cover or anything like that. So this is all steelbook, slip covers, box sets, that kind of stuff. And forget about picking anything from a boutique label, because it's most of my boutique label stuff, I love the packaging on it. So I don't think I have anything here from a boutique label. I'm looking and I don't think I do. I think this is all studio stuff that the studios put out. So the studio fails us way more when it comes to packaging than boutique labels do. But look, guys, before I get into this, I don't want this video to run all day, but maybe it will. I don't know. I like to talk a lot when I get on here to start talking about physical media. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about physical media here on this channel. Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day. So if you like that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. And then comment down below, guys, are there some editions that are just horrible, have horrible packaging that you keep in your collection because maybe you just love the movie and you want to have all the different editions of it? Or maybe that's the only way you can own that particular format of that film. Maybe that's the only way you could get it. So you have to own this ugly edition that you don't like in your collection because you want to own the movie that you love on 4K, and that was the only option. So let me know some different examples of this type that I'm getting ready to go through in the comments section below. Okay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's start with this was a low investment. I found this in, I think, a Blu-ray bin at Walmart, and this had to have been when I first started collecting. I just wanted this movie on Blu-ray. It was $7.50 in the Walmart bin. I got it, and I hate it because it's so awkward. Let me just pull it out. This Matrix Digipack. First off, there's some cool images on the cover. It's got a little lenticular, but you open it up, you got a book on the inside, which, it's kind of cool. There's some stuff in there, and then you got the Blu-ray of the Matrix, and there's the back of it right there. But I don't like these editions because they stick off the shelf and they don't match with anything else on the shelf. So I'm always where do I put this? And to be honest, I don't need this anymore. So maybe I should give it away because I have the Matrix on 4K. So I don't need this edition. But I keep it anyway because it's the Matrix and, whatever. But I do love the Matrix. This is one, though, that I'll say that I do. I don't know. I really like The Matrix, and some days I feel like I love it, and other days it's like, that's just a really solid late 90s science fiction film that has a bunch of horrible sequels that I don't like as much. But The Matrix is a really, really great movie, and this is not a great addition. So, sorry guys. If you have this and you love it, I'm sorry. But I had to pick something, guys. The Matrix. This is not a great box set of Indiana Jones right here. And I'm about ready to show you why, but the Paramount release says the artwork on it's good enough. And this is another one where I'm like, I like the Indiana Jones movies a lot. I don't really love Crystal Skull, and I don't really love, what's the third one called? I'm blanking on the third one, the one with Sean Connery. I don't love that one. I do think Raiders is really great, and I love Temple of Doom. So I do love at least one movie in this set, but admittedly, I'm not the biggest Indiana Jones fan, but they could have done so much better. Paramount could have done so much better with the packaging on this one. I mean, it's got some cool like artwork on the inside, but I'm just not like enamored with this. Anytime anybody does this, like I could have pulled the Hellraiser box set because it does the same kind of thing, but I just really don't like opening. I would rather have the envelopes that Universal does with like Back to the Future and the Alfred Hitchcock sets. Like I would rather have that than this like fold out plastic case deal, because I believe there was some damage on this one. I think the plastic was damaged. I might have to bring the actual like discs out to see it. But I believe that oh, it's right there. God, how do I miss that? But yeah, this was damaged. Like when I got this in, it was the plastic was broke on that spot. So I don't love this kind of packaging right here at all. Like the artwork on it's cool. Like I like the artwork on it, but I'm just not a huge fan of this packaging. So I would say that this is definitely one of my least favorite box sets in the bunch. Like I would rather have something like the Superman set, like where they all had their own individual cases or something like that. So, and they did all get their individual slipcovers and steel books later on down the line. But because I purchased this, and because like I'm not a massive fan of Indiana Jones, I just decided that this was good enough for Indiana Jones. So I'm kind of stuck with this box set in the collection right now. Next up is The Lion King. Now, I have to preface this by saying I'm not really speaking on this slipcover right here. I'm more speaking on the Target exclusive edition that came out, I think back in 2019 when The Lion King hit 4K. All it was, they really fooled me with it. Like all it was a clear plastic slipcover with some art cards on the inside. And that was the collector's edition that Target was pushing back in 2019. I hate that edition. I don't have that plastic slip anymore. Maybe I got it in a box in the closet, but somebody sent me the actual 4K slipcover for The Lion King, so I now have the legitimate slipcover for The Lion King. So I don't hate this packaging, but I hate the plastic slip that it came with the Target edition. So I wanted to point that out, and I do love The Lion King. That's one of the greatest animated movies of all time. I'm a big fan of the Sam Raimi SpiderMan films, but I do not like this little digibook set that Sony put out. I do have a digital code in here. I have no idea if I've given this away yet or not, but if you guys want it, I'll show it off. But this is not a great set. I like the Universal ones that they do. It's got a little booklet on the inside, but I'm not a big fan of the still images that they put. Like I would much rather have like some cool artwork on the inside. And I just think this is kind of lame. For Spider-Man, and I think we need some kind of like box set with slip covers and just the full deal for the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. I just don't think this is good enough right here, and I don't think that these ever got like standalone like 4K slip covers or steel books or anything like that, and they really should have got that treatment. I think they came out with another like slip cover like edition, or I don't even think it had a slip cover. I think it was just like a regular 4K case with all three of the movies inside on 4K, and I think that came out in like 2022 or something like that. But this was the first one that they came out with, and this is not a good edition. I don't like. They did the same thing for the Amazing Spider-Mans as well. Of course, I got to talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street. This pathetic piece of shit that Warner Brothers put out back in 2016, 2017. I don't even know when they put this damn thing out, but it's pitiful, and Nightmare on Elm Street deserves much better. And if they end up doing this again for the 4Ks, I'm going to freaking lose my freaking mind. Warner Bros., like, I'm a fan of Warner Bros. I like the stuff they put out. I think they do a good job on their scans and stuff, but their packaging, guys, like sometimes and we've got a lot of Warner Brothers examples in this stack. We'll get to it. It leaves a lot to be desired. So I'm not a huge fan of this packaging right here, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, look at this. This has all 7 movies in here. I've complained about this set so freaking much on the channel. It's just a freaking Blu-ray case. Okay, it's a Blu-ray case for a Nightmare on Elm Street. That's all we get for these movies. This franchise, like Jason gets a big box set, Hellraiser gets a big box set, Psycho gets a big box set, Halloween got a big box set. It got re-releases and nice hard shell cases for the first 8 movies. It's got steelbook sets for the new Blumhouse trilogy. It's got Halloween's got everything. Halloween's got everything. Friday the 13th has a bunch of nice steelbook sets from Paramount and box sets and just all kinds of stuff, guys. All kinds of stuff. And Chucky's got multiple box sets as well, and slipcovers from Scream Factory, but this is all we get from Nightmare on Elm Street. Even Leprechaun has a steelbook. Like, even Leprechaun has a freaking steelbook, but this is all we get for Nightmare on Elm Street. It's pitiful. 7 movies. And that's not even the worst part. The fact that they, the first Nightmare is on 1 disc. I've talked about this so many times, guys. But the second and the third are on the same disc. The fourth and the fifth on the same disc. And Freddy's Dead and Wes Craven's New Nightmares on the same disc. And then you got special features on this disc. I don't know. I went without getting this for the longest time. Somebody sent this to me in a subscriber unboxing because I was literally waiting for whatever hopefully would come next. I did not want to get this because I've got the DVD set from back in the day. And that is the best thing we have Nightmare on Elm Street right now. I love that box set. But this is just pathetic, absolutely pathetic. So that's probably on the bottom of like my favorite movies that have the worst packaging, because I love the majority of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I've been watching those movies since I was a kid. I love even Freddy's Dead. I love. So big fan of those movies. The Rocky, again, Warner Brothers, the what is this called? The Knockout Collection. They're getting ready to have the Ultimate Knockout Collection as they add in 5 and 6. So I know a lot of people are kind of pissed off about that, but the Rocky Knockout Collection right here with Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, and Rocky 4. I don't hate the artwork. I think the artwork's pretty cool on the front, but again, like, this is pitiful for Rocky. I know they did steelbooks with this, so that kind of makes it a little bit better, but this set right here, like, they should have done the same thing with Superman. Like, they should have done a big box set, individual covers. Like, if Sony was putting this out, like, this is where I'll give Sony some credit because I bash on them sometimes. If Sony was putting out the Rocky franchise, like, they would have had a nice box set. All the Rocky films would have had individual slipcovers. And that's what a franchise like this deserves. Like, and you could charge like $80, to put this out. Now, I will say, like, some people might not care about that, and they're like, well, Ken, I want Rocky on 4K, all 4 of these films for like 40 or $45 or $50. I think when it came out, it was pretty low. It was pretty inexpensive. And I get that, but like, I want the big box set for the franchises that I love, and Rocky 100% deserved that big box set treatment, and it did not get that. So I do not like that set from Rocky. Pretty much the same deal as Nightmare on Elm Street, in my opinion. This Bad Boys set, speaking of Sony, I think this might be the only time Sony makes an appearance on my list. This Bad Boys set right here, I don't think it's a terrible set. I mean, it's a nice, like, hard case, and I do like that. But it's just weird. It's awkward to put on the shelf because, for one, like, I have to put it on the shelf upside down. I would want to put it like this, like I have all the rest of my 4K cases. The problem is that these would fall out. And we'll get to those in a second. As soon as I pull it out, those would fall at the bottom. So I got to put it in upside down on the shelf. So it's just not practical for the shelf. And maybe what I need to do, because you should display it like this, maybe I just need to put this on top of the shelf and not even try to put it in with the rest of my collection. But, this case is nice. Like, I like having a nice hard shell case for Bad Boys, but I would much rather it, be a side loader instead of a slip cover, essentially a hard box slip cover. But let's take these out right here. But they had to make these horizontal as well, which I am not a fan of. Like, I like the classic slip covers like Sony did with the Karate Kid, set they should have done with Bad Boys. Hopefully they redo this at some point with all the Bad Boys films. If they make another one, they'll have 5 Bad Boys films. They could do a really nice box set, all with slip covers, coming out the side this time. Like I said, I'm all for experimentation, but it's like, come on, guys. These look more like CDs. Like, these are honestly like CDs you would get back in the day. I remember having CD cases like this where they would fold out. Like, do you all remember that? They would fold out like this and you would get your CD out. This is a little bit longer because it's a Blu-ray set, but this it reminds me of CDs, like not the traditional like snap CD cases, but like the fold out ones that they would come out with. But you open this up, you got the Blu-ray, you got the 4K. But yeah, just not a huge fan of this set. Like there's good ideas in here, but I just don't think it comes together as a set for me personally. But maybe there's fans of it. Let me know in the comment section below. A couple of these movies I love, but I do not love this franchise. The Fast and the Furious. This box set is an abomination. My brother-in-law actually gave this to me. He might have charged me for it. Maybe he charged me like $10 for it or something like that. But this has Fast and the Furious, I think 1 through 7. He gave it to me at a time when I was going to binge like all the Fast and the Furious sequels. So I wanted a physical release of the franchise. So he said, you know what? I got it. Do you want it? And I said, sure. I would be able to own them all on physical media. So I thought that was pretty cool. But ever since then, guys, like I just don't know what to do with this set. It does not fit on the shelf with everything else. Like it's so awkward to put on the shelf. It takes up so much stupid space. I don't like this stupid odometer on the front. And I just don't think it's a great set. And this is a Blu-ray set as well. It is not a 4K set. I don't think I have any of the Fast and the Furious movies on 4K actually. But you could tell right here, and I guess it used to make sounds. I don't think it ever made sounds with me, but you open this up right here, it's got some wiring and stuff in there, I just noticed. So I think this probably made like some revving up noises. But on the inside, it's just this is universal, so it's just like one of those digibook cases with the envelopes on the inside. Which, you know, this isn't terrible. I don't hate all this stuff on the inside. Like honestly, like if it was just this in a slipcover, I would be much happier. Just like the Universal Monsters and Back to the Future and all that stuff, I would be a lot happier with this set. But well, hold on. This one actually does have the 8th one. I did not realize this one had the 8th one in it. Fate of the Furious. I did not know it had the 8th one. So I got all 8s of the Fast and the Furious movies in this set. But yeah, I don't love the franchise, so I don't give this away because I'm not going to buy the movies on 4K because I'm just not a huge fan. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I'll watch the sequels and I'll become a huge fan because I've only seen, well, I've seen through 5. 5 was the last one that I watched, but I haven't seen 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There was Hobbs and Shaw. There's 6 of them. I've seen less of them than the franchise. I've seen less of them than I've seen more of them in the Fast and Furious franchise because there's 11 of them. I've seen 5. So I'll keep this set, you know, just in case I want to watch the series at some point. But maybe what I should do is just take this out and put this on the shelf and just like put this in a box or something. That way it wouldn't irritate me anymore. But this is not a great set right here. But I included this because I do love the first 2 Fast and the Furious movies. And the 5th one's really good. I just don't love it. I have a really deep nostalgia for the first 2. Wayne's World, I love. We're going to get into some slipcovers right here, guys. Wayne's World, love this movie. Was not a fan of this slipcover by Paramount. I really wasn't. I get it. It you know, it's got the colors from the damn it, what was the bar's name? I forget the damn bar's name that they go into in the very beginning. I cannot think of it for the life of me. It's like the Gaslight. Was it like the Gaslight something? I cannot think of it. My memory is just shot at this point in my life because I've seen Wayne's World 150 freaking times. But I get it. You got that kind of matches the aesthetic of the club that they go into in the beginning. You got Wayne and Garth right there rocking out. It looks cool, but I just don't like the colors. They don't scream Wayne's World to me. I would much rather have the original poster art on the front with the 4K. So I'm not a big fan of this Wayne's World 4K cover. Now let's get into the big run of Warner Brothers slipcovers right here, guys. These are pretty terrible. All of these. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Love this movie. I am not a fan of this image of Gene Wilder right here. When it first came out, like I remember like trying to talk myself into thinking it looked cool. And it does not. I hate this cover. I think it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. That does not look like, I just don't like super photoshopped Gene Wilder in the middle of like a bunch. It doesn't even have freaking, what are those? Like freaking fruit roll-ups or something down there? Like you could have done so much more with the cover of this one with the candy and the everlasting gobstoppers and all that kind of stuff, guys. It's awful. I do not like this cover of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory at all. Poltergeist, this is terrible, absolutely terrible. They should have went with a TV. They should have went with a little girl in front of the TV, the classic poster or some other kind of image with a girl on the TV, and it would have been great. This is a scene from the movie, but it's just like out of nowhere. Don't do this crap, Warner Bros. This is crap. I do not like that cover of Poltergeist. The Exorcist. Everybody knows this sucks. This is the Christmas Exorcist cover. I've heard some people call it that. And yeah, it's like, what the hell were you all thinking? It's just like, why red for Reagan? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, green, yes, not red. We don't do red for The Exorcist. That matches none of the aesthetic of the actual film itself. I don't even know if there's any red other than blood in the film, in the actual movie, as far as the aesthetic and the coloring of the film. But the Exorcist slipcover is crap. Gremlins is horrible. I freaking hate this slipcover. The steelbook was even worse when this came out. The steelbook was horrible too, so I didn't get that. I just went ahead and got the slipcover for this one. But yeah, it's like, what were you guys thinking with Gremlins? Like, this is just terrible to me. I do not like the Gremlins slipcover, but those are all Warner Bros. They've done other ones that are bad, but those are all movies that I love. So again, that's the theme of the video. Like the Lost Boys. Like, I really like the Lost Boys. I don't love the Lost Boys, but that slipcover is also terrible. Now we'll get into some steelbooks, guys. We've got the Avengers Infinity War. I'm not going to say I hate this steelbook, but it's not great. Like, I could have thought of a lot better imagery for this steelbook right here. And this is when I was first like collecting these steelbooks for like the Marvel films and the DC films and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't really like I was like new to collecting steelbooks, so I wasn't really paying too much of attention to the actual artwork itself. I wasn't super into it at that time, so I just kind of bought it and went on living my life. And now as I look back, I'm like, this artwork is really kind of lame for Infinity War. So that's definitely one of them. I love Infinity War as well. I think that's neck and neck with Winter Soldier for the best Marvel MCU movie, in my opinion. The Incredibles 2, I can't say I love The Incredibles 2, but I do really like The Incredibles 2. And this is just one of the worst steelbooks I've ever seen in my entire life. I think that if you look up this steelbook on eBay, the first movie steelbook is going for like $200 to $300. This movie steelbook is still at like $20, $25. So it's like nobody wants this steelbook right here. A freaking washing machine for The Incredibles 2 with a laundry basket on the back. What the hell was Disney thinking, or whoever the hell came up with this idea for The Incredibles 2 steelbook? It is the worst steelbook in my collection, hands down. I hate this steelbook. So I had to include this in the video. This is just one of the worst steelbooks in my collection, but I keep it. E.T., this steelbook, I do not like at all, but I love E.T. so much. It's like I've got a couple of steelbooks of E.T. I've got some DVD collector's editions. I've got multiple 4Ks now, different slipcovers and slipcases. So I like to collect everything E.T. So I keep this steelbook. I think I got this at an FYE for like $5 or something. It was very cheap, but it's not a great steelbook. I don't love the silvery like steelbooks. I just don't think they look good on the shelf, and I just don't think they have a good look in general. I mean, it's really just the classic poster, and you got Elliot and E.T. on the back, but I just don't like the look of it. So this steelbook kind of sucks to me. And then lastly, I wasn't a big fan of this when it came out, and I'm still honestly not a big fan of it. I know some people really like it. It was one of the first like Lionsgate steelbooks with the slipcover, and that is Halloween. I'm just not a huge fan of Michael with all the leaves, even though this was kind of a prelude to what Scream Factory would do with all of the Halloween movies, put Michael in all the leaves and stuff like that, which I can't say I love those either, but I do think they're better looking than this steelbook. So this is definitely a steelbook that I did not purchase back in the day. I acquired this later on through other means. I think this is actually an overseas version of that Lionsgate steelbook. But yeah, this is not a great cover to me. You got Laurie with the leaves on the back. I just thought this was lame when it came out. I was like, y'all can do better for Halloween. Come on now. But that's it, guys. That's all I got. It was a struggle to pull these off the shelf because, like I said, I like a lot of the editions I got. I really do. I'm kind of a mark for this stuff at this point, guys. Like, I'm usually pretty happy with the stuff that I get, so it's kind of hard for me to pull stuff out that I just flat out hated. But that's the video, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, is there any additions of movies that you love in the collection that you just hate but you keep anyway for whatever reason? Let me know about it in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, follow me on all of my social media accounts down below in the description, and turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and we'll see you next time.